the most money in your pocket, and that's where you are retailing. How many in here participate in the Senior Farmers Market Nutrition Program? Okay, all the rest of you that do not have your hand up, shame on you. We will start holding sign-ups for you to participate shortly after the first of the year. You can do it one of two ways: attend a first face-to-face meeting, or you can go online at our website and go through the training and get signed up. But this is a program where we receive federal dollars and we give to seniors throughout the state, and the only thing they can do with that is buy fresh fruits and vegetables or honey from a farmer that grows it at one of our certified farmers markets or approved farm stands. They can't use that money at the grocery store, so they can only spend it with you. We just closed our 24 season and seniors spent $1,906,970 with Alabama farmers. So if you didn't get any part of it, shame on you. All right, the other program that we're on the downhill side of it, but we just got confirmation that USDA is renewing or extending this, is Local Food Purchase Agreement. This program started back in 2022. It was a 3-year deal. We had $11 million that where we actually enter into a contract with a farmer. So you know your food is sold before you grow it. The only stipulation is you got to produce it and deliver it, and then you'll get paid for it. So, like I said, we've out of that $11 million, we've only got about $250,000 left, and we have contracts for that to be delivered between now and the end of March. All of that food is delivered to one of the 8 food banks across Alabama. The program, like I said, we just heard that it's been renewed. I've been on phone calls the last 2 days with AMS regarding this program and the next one that I'll talk about. And funding, our agreement will probably be in place in early January, and we've got a deadline of April 30th. So we're going to be scrambling real hard right after January to be in contact with all producers that wants to sign up and participate in that program moving forward. I'll need to know what it is that you have, when you'll have it, how much you'll have on a weekly, monthly, whatever basis, and your estimated price that you're wanting me to pay you for a delivered product. So be thinking about those things. The other program is Local Food for Schools, LFS. Where's my school nutrition director? Here's Tammy. I think you were the benefit of some of this. This program is where we're contracting with farmers to buy food. Now, we only had $3 million for the last 3 years of that program. Well, we knew we couldn't serve every school in the state, so we decided we would serve schools that had 50% or higher free and reduced lunch rate. Our distributors that did that for us did a very poor job, but we served as many as we possibly could. We got $24,000 left in that program, and we've got the order for that coming right after the first of the year. So we're going to be expending all of that money. So think about what I just said. 11 plus 3 is $14 million that has gone directly into farmers' pockets in Alabama. Anybody remember what I told y'all when I first introduced myself about helping you make money? I'm putting money in your pockets. So now here's the thing that is real exciting, Tammy. The new LFS program has just been announced. Where we had $3 million previously, we're now going to get $7.3 million. The new LFPA program is 5.6. That's a little over $12 million, folks. That's going into pockets of Alabama farmers. There's another component, and I'm working on trying to figure out how I can make this work, is early child care. Now, all the early child care centers in Alabama do not qualify. They've got to be part of the National School Lunch Program or part of the Child and Adult Care Feeding Program. But if they're on those 2 programs, they're eligible. So I'm trying to figure out how I can make it where we're awarding them grant monies to turn around and buy from you somehow. close to you, because you cannot afford to deliver 14 pounds of product to a daycare center. It just will not work. So I got to figure out some way to get them to come to you. The other side of both of those programs, with the LFPA program, we had almost 100 farmers that we had contracts signed with this previous round. 67 of those almost 100 fell in the socially disadvantaged category. We're targeting socially disadvantaged farmers with both of these programs. That's one of the goals of USDA in their contract. But guys, think about it this way. How many, if I signed a contract with every socially disadvantaged farmer in Alabama, could I get up $11 million worth of produce? Can't do it, can I, Andrew? And so I posed that question to USDA, and they said, well, Don, you can only do what you can do. You got to reach out to other farmers. So we did, but we prioritized socially disadvantaged farmers. And my commitment to you today is we're going to continue to prioritize the socially disadvantaged farmers with these new rounds as well. The LFS program, we had agreements with 25 farmers, and 12 of those were socially disadvantaged. So it's a little more difficult getting product delivered to schools, because you either got to work with a distributor or you got to deliver to individual schools. Very few schools has a one drop for you. That makes it tough if you got to get, and the one that first comes to mind is Montgomery County. There's 53 schools in Montgomery. How many of you feel like you make 53 stops? Not me. So that's where the distributor comes in. Then going back to our bread and butter farm to school program, forget USDA, however, the farm to school, there is a component where we do get some grant funding there, but it's not to put money in your pocket. It's to help us administer and come up with creative ways to connect you as farmers to the school. But about 4 years ago, I decided we needed some way to help our child nutrition directors want to buy from you. So I went to Commissioner Payton and I said, we need an incentive program where we incentivize the school nutrition directors for every meal component that they serve an Alabama product. He liked that idea. He went to the state legislature. The first year they gave us $100,000. Every year they have upped it. We got $600,000 this year to incentivize. So this last year, farmers in Alabama sold the schools over 150,000 pounds of Alabama grown produce. So we incentivize them on buying that. So, there's a lot of things and a lot of working pieces that's going on in these things. Real briefly, and I won't go into it in real depth, but it's already been mentioned, the RFSI, Resilient Food System Infrastructure Grant. AMS came out with that a little over a year ago, and the Department of Agriculture was a recipient of those grant funds. We received $5.6 million. We put out the request. We had 22 applications that were asking for $23.8 million. I knew that was going to happen. So I told Commissioner Pate before we ever did this, I said, we're not going to score these applications. We're going to solicit folks from out of the state. And we had a person from Ohio, one from South Carolina, and one from Georgia that took the applications. They scored them, sent them back to us, and we went over them, and that's the way they were awarded. ASAC is one of the entities that was funded. I'm proud to tell you, and I'm not going to steal any of Darren's thunder. I'll let him talk about it this afternoon. But there's a project down in Houston County, then ASAC, two different type projects in Chilton County, and a dairy, startup dairy in Russell County up in northwest Alabama. The exciting thing about all of those projects is they're not just for the entity that is going to build the project. All of those others are sole proprietor ownerships and operators, but part of their agreement is they've got to cooperate with other farmers in their area and even across the state of Alabama. For example, the guy down in Houston County, one of the components that he's interested in, he hadn't settled on this completely because some of the equipment he's looking at will handle it or it will do other things. But let's say he did a green bean component. Well, he cannot grow enough green beans, him and his 8 or 10 farmers that he's working with, to run that plant the whole growing season. Because you can grow green beans from starting in the spring all the way to the fall, can you not? Yes. So, and then he's got to store them, and then we want to be able to sell that product to the schools year round, the frozen product. So he needs to be able to buy green beans from you. You haul them to Dothan, they process, they're frozen, and then distributed later. Those are some of the kind of collaborative things that we'll be working with through our department, helping you all connect with the RFSI centers. The other thing, and I appreciate Angela and Sarah talking about RFBC. That is a great opportunity for some of those RFSI recipients that fell through the crack, didn't quite make the cut, to pick up and get some of that middle of the supply chain support and help them put in maybe a freezer, a cold storage, some of that kind of stuff. Again, all of what I've talked about with RFSI is middle of the supply chain. It occurs after you've harvested the crop. I don't know of anything that's going to help you buy a tractor, anything that's going to help you buy seed and fertilize. Most of everything that's available is afterwards. Last thing I want to talk about is, you see my shirt, Sweet Grown Alabama. If you're not a member, let me encourage you to become a member of Sweet Grown Alabama. It costs you $100 a year, and I promise you, you'll get your monies back in advertisement and promotion that very first year. We have 2 young ladies that runs this program for us. They do an outstanding job in connecting you directly with consumers, retail sales. If you're wanting to sell to a grocery store, they can help you do that. As well as me and my staff, we will help you with all of those connections. But at the department, we got a lot going on trying to help you connect and sell your product, whether you want to sell retail or wholesale. Just remember, there is a difference in retail price and wholesale price. Now, I got one last thing to say before you ask questions. Everything that I have talked about, we have created a greater demand in Alabama for Alabama-grown products than we have Alabama-grown products to sell. I need producers from one end of this state to the other to grow more produce. You hear that? I need you to grow more produce. Now, we have got a golden opportunity. The largest restaurant in the world is our school system. And they are interested in buying product from you. I can't sell it to them if you don't grow it.
Thank you, Don.